If you have no money and you're wondering how to start on Etsy, I have solutions for you. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to start a high volume Etsy shop if you have very little capital to start with. And surprise, surprise, this is not with print on demand or digital. Make sure to stick around all the way to the end of the video because I'm going to show you how I started my 7-figure Etsy shop with less than $200 to start with. And I'm going to show you how I turned that into 10K plus months by my 4th month on Etsy. I've sold over $1.5 million in revenue on the platform. It's over $1 million in profit. If you have no money right now and you're watching this, I'm going to assume you must need money fast. And that is exactly why I would not recommend print on demand to start with. A lot of people think, oh, print on demand, like no money up front. Well, print on demand can actually be one of the slowest ways to make a lot of profit. So number one, what we're gonna do is open a 0% interest rate credit card. And if you don't qualify for it, have your sister open one. Number two, we're going to use Amazon Prime or have a friend or family member who has Amazon Prime, let them help you out a little bit. And what we're going to do is order supply category items. You might be thinking, what the heck? I'm going to make millions of dollars in ribbon and beads? No, we are going to focus on higher ticket supply category items as well. And the supply category items that we're looking to do are not traditional craft supplies. You can go that route. For the purposes of this, I would not. I would actually go the route of things for events or occasions. And this means the party supply realm. Birthdays, weddings, parties, get-togethers, right? That is the route I would go because I want my AOV to be up at that $30 to $40 range minimum. All right, number three, what we're gonna do with this Amazon Prime is we are going to order enough for about 30 unique products, which then I'm going to duplicate to create about 90 to 100 listings in my total shop. But we're going to repackage and reposition them with new long tail keywords, which leads me to number four. You've placed your order with Amazon. Now we have to create our listings. We don't have the product yet. We need to create those listings so that when the product does come in like 48 hours, you are ready to go because time is of the essence. We want to make as much as we can in that first 30 days. So in those 2 days that you are waiting for your product, I would work 12 to 16-hour days. I would be making my listing shells so that as soon as my product arrives, I can photograph it, get the video, and pop it in. When you're doing this, you want to make sure to use as many long tail keywords as possible. You want to have as little overlap between the long tail keywords in each listing. And this is because in order to have the fastest success, we do not want to be competing with ourselves. We want to show up in as many search results as possible. So you are going to have those listings fully optimized and just a placeholder image in them so that they are saved in draft mode. They're going to be fully optimized for mobile and desktop. You're going to have all the site merchandising elements in place. All the SEO will be in place and your full shop will be completed with all the announcement about section. You're gonna have that all set up. All right, now the items arrive, right? Number 5 here, we're gonna photograph these, get the photos and the videos all taken care of. Now, when you're doing this, you don't wanna just have one standard background for these pictures because your first idea for how you set up your photos is not gonna be the best idea. And we need to test a wide variety of backgrounds here. I think a lot of people make the mistake of getting all their listings up. They want it to all look uniform and on brand and cohesive, so they use the exact same background or setup for everything. Well, there is very little opportunity to see what would have a better click-through rate if all of your photos are set up in the same way. We need to see where we can get the optimal click-through rate. That's why we're testing a wide variety of backgrounds. All right, now number 6, we're gonna publish those listings and go hard on Facebook. Ideally, we're about 24 hours since those items arrived and they're already published. We're gonna work hard on driving traffic. So this is the sprint, right? We have those Facebook posts up ready to go, 20 a day minimum. Don't do them all at once. You'll get totally blocked by Facebook. I would leave Instagram on the back burner for now, and I would really double down on Facebook. You might as well get started with Pinterest as well because Pinterest is the long game, but you've got to get started at some point. So I would do Facebook and Pinterest at the same time. As we move through week 1 with your supply category items, I would make sure to continually optimize the listings through that first week. So keep an eye on click-through rate and continue to optimize the photos. Note, we're not updating SEO every day throughout that first week. We're solely focused on click-through rate. You really need to give your SEO time to work for you. Next, about 3 weeks in, after implementing those aggressive sprinting strategies for 3 solid weeks, I would go ahead and return any of those items that never sold. And I would order new styles based on what is working so far. So this is a process that you're gonna wash, rinse, repeat. And I would focus on getting my order count, that order number under your shop name, to 1,000 as quickly as possible. So this is the strategy I would do to get to 1,000 sales in my first 4 months. I'm not worried about making money right now. I'm focused on getting to 1,000 sales. Now, some people hear this where it's like, wait, you're buying something and then if it doesn't sell, you're sending it back. What I have to say here is my background, I was a corporate buyer for Zappos and Zulily. The whole concept of being a buyer is you're purchasing inventory at wholesale costs and you are reselling it for more. Now, you can do this with a reseller's permit and get true wholesale pricing, or you don't have to. You don't have to have a reseller's permit to buy something and resell it. You can get a big case of water at Costco for like 20, 30 cents per unit, and then you see that same water bottle for sale at a high school basketball game and it's, $2. What is that? They're buying and reselling. So now we're working through the sprint. We're doing this on wash, rinse, repeat type of a cycle. We are solely focused on getting up to like 5,000 orders as quickly as possible. And then at that point, we'll start to pull levers as we move into what I call the marathon phase of your business, which is that long game. And this is when we start to pull levers, drive our profitability up. I would guess it'd be around 1,000 listings in the shop by the end of the first year to really get it to that point. Now we're going to talk about how did I actually start my shop with less than $200 and how do I get it to $10,000 per month by month 4, essentially starting with nothing. I used leftover supplies from my wedding. So I had gotten married that summer and I had done all the faux florals for our wedding. So we had centerpieces. Somehow we ended up with some bridesmaid bouquets after, a toss bouquet, different floral arrangements that we used throughout the wedding. We packed them up in our suitcase, took them back to San Diego where we were living. And what I did was I posted the finished floral decoration item that I made for our wedding on Etsy. And with that listing, I had it represent a custom order because it was a personalized listing in the shape of a J, which was for our last name. And the idea was that the customer would just order from this and then choose their own colors and it would be all made to order for them. Well, surprise, that worked out great because the person who ordered the first time, they wanted it to look similar to the listing photo, which meant I already had all of the materials and supplies needed to do that. So I deconstructed all of our wedding florals and I cut the floral heads off of all these stems and I used them to make the finished product for this customer. So then I took a picture of that, I listed it on Etsy and I used it for the next listing. And that next listing also represented a custom order. So I basically did this over and over again. Now by the third order, someone wanted it to look slightly different. So that was the first time that we actually had to invest in some new inventory that we didn't already have on hand. So I went to Hobby Lobby and I spent about $50 to $100 on faux florals, which were 50% off. And I started to slowly, very slowly build up our inventory of different colored flowers. As we started to increase our velocity of sales, we decided to look for another source. Sourcing is something I love helping people with. And it was actually my husband who helped us find a wholesaler in a different part of California. And he thought we'd make a cool trip out of it. He likes staying at fancy hotels. So we booked the JW Marriott every 8 weeks. We'd go up there, buy inventory. We'd haul all of this inventory in these big black trash bags into this super ritzy hotel. The bellman would actually transport all of our inventory up to our suite and we would spend the whole night staying up, cutting off these flower heads so that we could pack more inventory into the bed of the truck. Now this was before we started going up with a U-Haul. At that point, we just started going up and back same day. But the benefit of this was outside of having, a fun trip that was a tax write-off, we got our prices on our inventory down by 50%. And now we had access to a completely different set of materials that our competitors did not have access to. What this did was it made our business not dependent on the seasonality of the inventory at Michael's and Hobby Lobby. We started doing that about 3 months in. By month 4, we're already hitting 10K plus per month. Now that's in revenue, but our margins were at 50% by that point already. And then by month 4, we also added in a second product for the first time. Now fast forward to month 6, which was December, and we're now doing $1,000 days for the first time. And at that point, we integrated a third product with about 300 listings in total. So we had 300 listings, but only about 3 products in the shop. Now, throughout the entire process of scaling this business, we maintained pretty decent margins and we weren't really spending our own money. We were just reinvesting the profits from the business directly back into inventory. But at the velocity of sales we were at and the way we were selling through this inventory, it made a lot of sense. So that's basically my story of how I started on Etsy with no money. The process I recommended at the start of this video I have seen it as a very reliable, repeatable process that I've seen hundreds of people do at this point. So if you have any questions about the details or specifics of that, leave a comment below or reach out to us on Instagram. If you would be interested in a free month of coaching from myself and my team, reach out to us on Instagram at Dylan Jarris, because we are working on a little something special behind the scenes, and we'd love to know if you are interested in that. Please hit subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video.
After I joined the program, I gained so much clarity. Dylan is a wealth of knowledge, and she shares all of her secrets with you. That coaching aspect of it, you can't get that through reading or watching videos. So that's what makes this program really unique.